to Boycott. And once again, another wide. The ball moving right away. So with the very first two deliveries, 2 runs to England's total, both wides. Most unusual.
And I'm just wondering what John McLean's reactions are behind the stumps, because here he is playing under a handicap, and the first 2 balls that Hogg bowled really tested him. He had to dive way to his right in front of the slips.
It was well bowled by Hogg, a slower delivery that had Boycott just a little perturbed there. Well, Dimmock to share the new ball with Hogg, and he'll be bowling to Brearley. 1 fieldsman out. That's Hogg, who's down at fine leg. All the others caught in a slip fieldsman. And it's Dimmock bowling to Brearley. Brearley, who's due to score runs. He's had a very poor series with the bat so far, although, of course, he's an outstanding captain. Suffering his first loss as Test captain in the 3rd Test against Australia in Melbourne. For WW, not out, says umpire French. Really forward, or appeared to be slightly forward.
Yes, the ball was swinging, and it hit Brearley on the front foot. Still a fairly aggressive field placement, even for the medium pace of Dimmock. There's 1 man down at deep fine leg, however.
Another appeal for LBW. Is he out? No, says umpire French. That's 2 appeals. That one might have been a little closer, but let's have a look at that again.
Yes, I think that was very close, because Brearley was not too far forward. Here it is again. But as you can see, the ball swinging and hitting Brearley about in line with leg stump, and probably just doing a little bit too much down the leg side.
And Brearley off the mark. Opens his account with that single, and England move on to no wicket for 3. Brearley 1, Boycott yet to score.
Here's Boycott opening his stance even more for the left arm over the wicket bowling of Dimmock. Facing the line.
How would you use your fast bowlers here today, Frank, with this heat? Would you use them in short spells?
Yes, I think I would. Anyway, Hogg does like to work in 4-over spells.
Dimmock bowling to Boycott. And he certainly didn't mean that shot, although he's off the mark with it. 1 looking for 2. They'll take 2 as Wood slips. So it's Hurst to bowl his first over in this 4th Test match, Australia versus England. And Boycott the batsman. It's a nice shot from Boycott. There'll be 2 or 3 in this, being chased by Darling, who's very fast in the field, going back for 2, and that's all they'll get. Nice return from Darling, who's a brilliant fieldsman. So Boycott now 4, and the total no wicket for 9. And more runs to Boycott. Comfortable single.
At the moment, Jeff Boycott is looking rather dangerous. He looks as though he's consolidating a little bit, but no doubt he's just getting the feel of the Sydney ground now. This is the ground where he scored 142 in 1970-71, one of his favourite grounds. There's a loud shout there.
Really?
It was a loud shout. I don't know whether it hit the ground at the same time. It was a bump ball.
It flew to border at second slip. Let's have a look at the replay again. It looks as though he squeezed it into the ground. Boycott facing Hurst. Oh, and that's edged away, and what a superb catch at second slip. Alan Border in his 2nd Test takes a magnificent catch to get rid of Boycott. England now 1 for 18, and that's the end of Boycott. Caught by Border from the bowling of Hurst for 8.
Yes, that was a great catch on board. His left hand, he's a natural left hand. You'll see that the advantage of staggered slips fielding here. Time, Boycott is playing out, gets the outside edge, and look at the two slip fieldsmen going across each other. That's perfect.
So Randall, after a few calisthenics, will now face Alan Hurst. His figures are 1 for 7.
Like to see Randall and Knott together in the field. One at first slip, one at wicket-keeper.
I should think they'd be tied in a pretty secure reef knot by the end of the first over. Randall moving across in front of his stumps. In the Melbourne Test, we saw Randall LBW in both innings because he has this tendency to move right across in front of the stumps before the bowler has delivered the ball. If he is struck on the pad, you'll also notice that he then moves his pad and looks down the wicket at the umpire, as if to say, who, me?
Yes, I don't think he knows where he ends up some of the time. He just moves so much that he doesn't really appreciate where he finishes.
Short, he hooks, and he's caught.
Oh, what a great catch.
He's caught by Graham Wood. What a magnificent catch again. A superb reflex catch. And the Australians absolutely delighted, understandably. Second ball for Randall. There's a man who can make big scores. And look at the appreciation of this vast crowd here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And for once, Rodney Hogg in picture there, not the man who's achieved the initial breakthrough in the England innings.
Well, that was total reflex catch then. We'll see here in the replay. Short of a length. Pounded in. Good position by Derek Randall. The hook. Rolled the wrist. But it's short leg. There it is. And he's caught it at the second attempt. That was going like a rocket.
Wood juggled it beautifully. He kept his eye on the ball. And look at that. He then leaps to his feet and hurls the ball into the air.
Delighted.
So Hurst has seized 2 wickets in this over. Nice to see him burst into the limelight as well. He's been in Hogg's shadow very much so in this series, but he's bowled pretty well.
Yes, I felt in the first 2 tests particularly he bowled almost as well as Rodney Hogg and didn't get the results.
Hurst to Gooch. Well up. Gooch forward. Thinks about a single, but 2 is around very smartly from a square cover position. And that's the end of Alan Hurst's third over. It was a maiden and a double wicket maiden. 2 for 7. Hogg bowling to virtually the same field as has been employed to all the quicker bowlers. 3 slips, a gully, a cover, a mid-wicket, a forward short leg, a backward short leg and a fine leg. Hogg to Brealey. Well up. Brealey drives and it's through that cover gap again. Toohey after it. This time they'll take 2. That's all they'll get as Toohey gets the ball now. The return on its way to the keeper. Hogg again to Brealey. There's a single. Brealey fairly quickly through and Toohey does the fielding. There it is. Well pitched up and Gooch squeezes it out square of the wicket. It won't reach the boundary. The batsmen are through for 2 now and they'll come back for a fairly easy 3. A glorious throw from Peter Toohey. Look at that.
And Peter bowled him. Clean bowl. What a magnificent ball. England 3 for 35. Really bowled by Hogg for 17. And Hogg has 1 for 8. What a ball that was.
Well, Hogg can do no wrong. Now let's see if it does anything unusual. It just seemed back fractionally to the offside and from our high position it looked as though, oh, look at that bail. Look at the bail's gone right down there, McLean. A long way away and a very happy man is Rodney Hogg.
Here's another view. He played inside that.
Yes, he played inside and I would say that it just seemed gently away to the off.
Hogg to Gower. And a purple leg before, not out, not out. Tremendous appeal, umpire Bailash at this end.
It could be going away and missing the leg stump, that one, because he's bowling around the wicket and seemed to seam a little again, and I would say it missed the leg stump fractionally. As you see, he's rather short and Yes, as by the time it went to as far back as the wicket would have missed clearly the leg stump.
Now Hurst with the figures of 2 for 8. Bowls to Gower. And finally driven, a nice looking shot. It won't be 4. Tui fielding. They've taken 2 and satisfied with 2. And they had every reason to be. Look at that throw again from Tui. Again, the gap at mid-off. This will only be a single. Gower 4, 3 for 42. And Gooch cracks that through backward square leg. That should be 4. That was a loose one. He gave that everything. There's nowhere near a fieldsman. Another nice looking shot from Gower. He gets a run there. Yallop taking the pace off it in the gully. Gower to 5, total to 48. Now McLean is in real trouble again behind the stumps, and the roar at the moment is something going on at the hill. Nothing on the field, in fact, but McLean just is almost being held up there on occasions between balls. He's all right. He gets into position as the ball is being bowled, and then he sort of reacts after each ball. Now they take a single here, just easily walking through for 1. Gooch going to 12 and the total to 49. Let's see here. He's just walking back to his spot as they change over the left-hander.
He didn't go to about 2nd or 3rd slip. He's not quite certain where he is. He's really groggy, I would say, McLean, out in that sun beating down on, what is it, 6 stitches he's got over his eye.
And runs. They'll take 1. That's if they're looking for 2. They're going for the seconds. Run-out chance on here, and they're through. Well run by Gower. He's very, very fast. With Higgs going back for that, but Gower got a good judge of the run. That's the 50 up for England. 3 for 51. 50 runs taking 2 hours, and Gower is 7.
It's been a hard battle out there for England, and makes you wonder why Jim Higgs, he's only had 8 runs hit off his bowling, but I would have thought that Yallop would have kept the pace men on, Dimmick and this man Hurst.
And he hit that, struck him, and McLean did well to get it. Now let's see, they are not running. It's been a real dead ball.
That's a nasty one. It's very short and came into him, and he goes to duck under and just hits him on the shoulder. There you can see the ball going very high.
Now again, Yallop talking to McLean. McLean very, very groggy there behind the Australian stumps, and there he is now. Only a couple of balls to go before the break. In fact, one ball before lunch. And appeal for caught behind, and out. He's out. Gower caught McLean, who can hardly walk. Bowled Hurst for 7. Gooch not out 12. England 4 for 51, and a long delay by umpire Bailhache.
I thought he gave him not out, and then he went to take the bails off, and as he's about to take the bails off, he put his hand up. That's as almost as long a delay as Tom Brooks did in Perth. It's one of the longest delays I can remember. It rivals the one that Tom Brooks made in Perth. Quite a sensation. Let's see how long it takes before he gives him out.
Yes, off the glove, I should think. What do you think, Keith?
They're all up together, I would say. Just clip the glove, but the time it took for umpire Bailhache to give him out, it was an incredible amount of time.
So the players leaving the field for lunch. Here's the close-up view. This will give you a better look at this.
Yes, I would say you could see it hit the glove, and the sick man, the man we've been talking about, I suppose he's saying thank heavens for that.
But here's Higgs.
And the batsman is Gooch, who's immediately scoring. Gooch now not out 13, and the total 4 for 52. Both of them about to receive his first delivery of this match. Higgs the bowler. Botham a dangerous batsman, and England certainly needs him at this stage. 4 for 52. He's likely to do anything. Very aggressive cricketer. Botham yet to score. That's a nice looking shot from Botham. Hits the ball very hard indeed, and he's off the mark.
And there's the type of shot. It's going right out there towards the boundary. And well stopped. He caught him.
He caught it.
Toohey caught it.
Catch.
What a fantastic catch. Peter Toohey. There's a catch and a half in the outfield. That's one of the greatest we've seen. 5 for 66. Peter Toohey. Botham. I know Gooch it was out for 18.
Gooch hit it very low and very hard and right into the middle of that. And Peter Toohey spotting it from the moment went after. Here he is now. Hit this very, very hard. Only about 10 feet all the way. And Peter Toohey's very quickly seen this, and he's in underneath. That was a magnificent catch, and isn't he delighted?
And Jimmy Higgs takes his first wicket, 1 for 11. And coming in now is Miller. Once again, we're going to see Hurst bowl from this end. And through the slips, 4 runs. This outfield is very fast. Right of second slip, no thought of a chance there. And appeal for caught, and he's out. Miller caught McLean, bowled Hurst for 4. Both are not out 7. England 6 for 70. Hurst has 4 for 20.
Let's have a look now at the replay. Good shot of an action there. There it is, very strong action. Just a fine edge. And McLean, who's not well, has just grabbed that one with a great deal of glue.
So there's John McLean, Australia's keeper, leaving the scene, retiring hurt. You recall he was injured in the practice nets. As being met by the masseur, team masseur, taking him into the dressing room, and now Yallop, Australian captain, becomes the wicketkeeper. Hurst with the figures of 4 for 26, and England 6 for 76 with Botham 11 and Taylor on 2, and Taylor to face Hurst. And a roar, yes, well taken by Yallop.
Yes, I'd be more than confident Graham Yallop will do a good job standing back. He's lets the ball come into his gloves nicely.
And very smartly taken indeed.
Quite easily taken. Let it come. And a little bit of flair to go with it.
Now Higgs with his spinners to bowl to Botham. And he's thrashed that 4. And didn't he hit that? Well, the attempted drive, and I think he made contact with his foot as well as the...
No, what he's done, Norman, I've done it many times. He's tried to hit it through the on, and he's hit it onto his foot, I'd imagine, here. It's given us a heck of a belt. Look at that. He's opened his body up and straight onto the toe. Yes, we've done that often.
Quicker. Neat bit of fielding by Alan Border in the gully. 4 men in catching positions. Bit of pressure on the England batsman. Not a great deal of turn, but Higgs is using the air quite successfully. Flighting a few up, and then the odd quicker ball. That's quicker. And that's caught. What a delightful catch by Alan Border in the gully. A superb reflex catch.
That was a really good catch because he's only fielding about 3 metres from the bat, and it went straight down, and a much quicker ball, as Paul Sheehan said. Got an edge and went straight down to his feet, and a beautiful catch. Here we go again. He wants quite a quicker delivery, and the ball goes almost straight to the ground. Bit of a spin leg break. As you see, goes straight down, went right at his ankles, and he took a very snappy little catch.
It went straight into Alan Border's hands, but he had to be aware of the fact that the ball was there, and he clutched it gleefully, as you can see. 5 men in catching positions as Dimmick charges into Embry. And that ball went straight to Higgs at forward short leg, and he put it down, and again it would have been a tremendous reflex catch.
That went very sharp. He hit it in the middle, although it was a quick push, really, but it went very solidly, and Higgs is only a yard of 1, 2, 3 metres away.
Good variety, Higgs. Bowls a flipper. And that's out. He's out. He's beautifully caught by Graham Wood in that very, very short leg position. Wood moved quite a long way to his left hand and took that catch gloriously. So England further in the mire, now losing their 8th wicket before they've registered 3 figures. Outside the off stump, and Botham slashed. That will be 4, but it was possibly catchable.
It would have been a good catch. It would be catchable, as we say, and it would have been a beauty because it's on the left hand. That is 4 runs.
It brings up the England century. Wide of the off stump and cracked beautifully off the back foot by Botham. That'll be 4 runs.
That's a beautiful shot. Big hit. I've just lost it for the moment. Where is it?
One bounce into the
fence from the first bounce. Yes, a beautiful shot. So Hogg bowling to Botham. He's on 49. And that's a good shot. That's his 50. Beautiful shot for 4. So Botham not out 53. England 8 for 133. There's a bouncer. It's gone high over the keeper's heads. It'll be into the fence for 4. Yes. 4 more runs to Botham. An attempted hook that went straight over the wicket-keeper's head. So he moves now on to 59. Well, to give you an indication of Botham's innings, the contrast, his first 24 runs were scored in 100 minutes and his last 35 in only 40 minutes. Could be out-caught. Yes, Botham is out-caught. Caught by Yallop from the bowling of Hogg for 59. England 9 for 141.
There's the bouncer, very short indeed, and you can see that Botham is on the leg side of the ball. And in those circumstances, he had very little hope of making contact.
More runs to Hendrick. That ball speeding down to third man. There's a fieldsman there. He's looking for 2. He's going to take it. He'll have to run, but quite safely back. And a beautiful return by Yardley. And that's bowled in. England all out for 152. Hendrick bowled by Hurst for 10, giving him the fine figures of 5 for 28.
Up again. Just a modicum of movement. No ball signalled by umpire Baylash. So that opens Australia's account. Willis again. That one was shorter and it's bowled in. He's played it on. And just went to guide the ball down into the slips area and put it straight down onto the stump. So Australia suffering a similar blow to England. 1 for 1, and Wood, the century maker from the 3rd test in Melbourne, back in the pavilion without scoring.
Yes,
Willis, no score.
Graham Wood here seemed to change his mind slightly, and just a last moment shot and straight back down onto the wicket there, and up go the Bales and up go the delighted English side. And that's certainly the wicket they want. Look at Bob Willis doing his war dance. Graham Wood here. Short one, got over it quite well. Cut back in him.
Willis, 1 wicket already in this initial over to bowl to Hughes. Short, Hughes behind it. And that's cracked through the cover area by Hughes. It was a full toss. It's a long, long chase for Boycott. He's striding out, but he won't reach it. It's 4 off the bat. Lovely shot by Hughes. Picked up the line of that full toss extremely well and punched it away wide of Boycott's left hand. Short, and Hughes pulls that massively over mid-wicket. What a magnificent shot. He picked up the length of that extremely quickly, stayed outside the line of it and clobbered it over the top of mid-wicket.
40 love and all that. Cross talk smash. Let's have a look. Yes. Look, it's very, very short and it's a wide slightly off. But this is the form he's in at present. Even rolled the wrist over the top of it.
Botham again. He'll bowl to Darling, who's on 4. Darling 4, Hughes 12, 1 for 22. Wood was out without scoring, bowled by Willis. England all out for 152. And the pull shot down, not right onto it. We'll get a couple here. Willis is down on the boundary as they come back for a second. He got it down to the ground okay, but the timing wasn't perfect. There's a nice return from Willis. And the hook shot again. Away it goes, and Lever can't get to it. Into the fence for 4. And the cut shot, that's 4 more. That was a beautiful shot. Now runs here, that's going down towards the boundary. That's Australia's 50. It's also the 50 partnership. Going up now to 52 with a 3 for the shot, or is it 4? No, 3 only, and Darling to 31, Australia 1 for 52. They came together at 1, so the partnership is now 51. And the 52 runs scored in about 63 minutes. And away it goes again. That could be 4 more. Yes, Lever can't get to it. He timed that very well indeed. Darling to 35, Australia 1 for 56. At the end of the first day.
Wide, and Hughes drives gloriously. What a lovely straight drive. Just on the offside. But it beats Boycott, who's fairly square of the extra cover position, and runs very quickly away downhill for 4 runs. It's the best shot of the morning, without any question. Hendrick to bowl to Hughes. Well up. Hughes defensive.
The last 2 test matches, we've seen a completely new attitude in the minds of the Australian batsmen. They've looked far more assured, far more mature. Looks as though they've come to test match stature in a couple of months.
That one's eased off the edge. It beats Gooch at third slip. It's running down to the fence. A long chase for Embry. He won't cut it off. That's 4 to Hughes from not a particularly confident stroke. The inside edge of the bat, racing down towards the boundary. Boycott's around to cover it, but he can't prevent 2 runs being taken in the bat of Darling. Darling now into the 40s. And Australia on to 79. What is it that a fast bowler can do to regain rhythm, Frank, once it's lost?
Well, I think it's almost a feeling. It's a feeling of being good at the wicket at the moment of delivery. I think you've got to establish a point in your run-up where you feel that you're absolutely perfect, and a few more strides will get you into the perfect bowling position.
Willis to Darling. Again off the outside edge. And back for 2. Bit of weakish throw from Boycott allows Darling, who's very, very quick, to scamper back for that second run. An element of danger in that. But the batsmen are safely back. 81 on the board now, and Darling on 42.
That was an interesting piece of cricket, with Boycott only being tested by a single on the previous occasion, and now the batsman put him under pressure. He's slow in coming in. The batsmen realise it. They go through for a single and dash back for the second run, and Boycott's return was not quite good enough.
Oh, a lovely back cut. Off the meat of the bat, Darling in superb position. But there's only a single as Embry comes in and sends a lovely throw back to Taylor.
Willis to Hughes. An appeal for caught behind that, or rather for leg before, rather. Appeal for leg before behind the wicket that time. Now, Willis reacting rather late, and that suggests to me there may have been just a fraction of that, but let's watch this again.
Yes, once again, very short, and going up, I would think, over the top of the stumps, hit the top of the pads.
Well, there was no confidence in the appeal. Here's the close-up view.
Kim Hughes goes back, cuts back nicely on him, and that was clearing the top of the stumps.
And he almost played that on. That must have just missed the stumps. He looked back in horror, but the stumps are still intact.
I would have thought that's bounced over the top. It seemed that close. Let's have a look, though. Inside edge, well away from his body, and that had to bounce over the top of the stumps.
Willis bowling. And wide of the slip, that was off the edge. It's down towards the boundary. Boycott will get this. And they'll come back for an easy 2, but Willis a little bit unlucky there.
Yes, that was a fine delivery that time. Once again, pushing Darling back, and the ball cut away from him. Let's have a look. It's time to see Darling going across, and cuts away. Outside edge, unfortunately for Darling, dropping short and wide.
Botham the fieldsman in slips, and Boycott the fieldsman at third man. Now it's 1 for 85 with Darling on 45. Now, good, that one he was taking his bat away. That's Willis is getting some lift there.
Yes, Darling's tried to take his bat away from this, and it's followed it and hit the middle of the bat. Look at this. He's tried to pull it, but
and they go for a run. That brings it up to 86 to give us 30 this morning in the first hour. And Darling is 46. And that's just right. Both they're not. There's danger here if they run, and players going everywhere. It hit, and Botham says to Randall, aim at the stumps, not at me. It hit Botham on the foot.
He's having a good trot, Botham. He's getting it from both the batsman and the fieldsman lately. Look at him. He's not too pleased about that.
Now Botham to bowl to Hughes. Just a hint that the nor'easter is springing up. Just to be round a bit to the north at the moment.
I think you'll find this will be the pattern for a long while today, with off spinners one end and the medium pacers coming down from this Paddington end.
I've just got the impression what breeze there is at the moment, maybe just a little bit of northwest. And that went through him, came back between bat and pad.
Someone out there now, either Hughes or Darling, must make the decision to try and move the score along.
Yes, first short one, and the way it goes, not well timed. I might get 2 here. Randall's after it, and they're coming back for a second. Not onto it properly, but down to the ground. It was nowhere near a chance at all. It was straight onto the ground. And Hughes to 35, and the total moving to 90.
Hughes here going back, sees the short one fairly quickly, goes back, changes his mind, and bottom edged it really. He is going to give that something.
And appeal for leg before, but not out. Now Botham roaring that appeal. It was a very short ball.
Short one here, and that to me looks too high. And have a look where the wicketkeeper was going down the leg side. Generally a fair indication of the line of the ball. Watch the height and also where the wicketkeeper's going. Yes, certainly high.
Well, Darling facing Embury. And note that Embury is bowling without a slip. 6 onside fieldsmen. 2 men in place on the onside.
It's a better shot.
Well, there's the drive. It's straight down to Boycott. They take a single. Darling to 48, 1 for 91. So Botham from this end, and he'll bowl to Darling. And Darling gets his 50. He'll get 2 for that. Coming back for 2 and on for 3, and Darling moves from 48 to 51, his first half century of the series. And he's over the head of slip, a lucky one. It's going down to the boundary for 4. It was Gooch who dived or threw himself up in the air, and a lucky 4 to Hughes. He goes on to 39, and Australia 1 for 98.
56 overnight, now 98, with some very good batting, particularly by Hughes. And here's a beautiful shot by Darling. It's through mid-wicket for 4 in the bowling of Embry. That shot that he likes so much through the mid-wicket area, and Darling moves on to 55, and that's the 100 for Australia. Australia 1 for 102. And on that note, we welcome Australia's greatest all-rounder, Keith Miller. Good afternoon, Keith.
Good afternoon, Jim and viewers. And we came on for the right time because that's one of the nicest strokes played so far in this match. Beautiful stroke, just short of a length. He came across and hooked it out, and a rather vicious shot.
And it's Embry bowling to Darling.
Yes, towards the close of play last night, I made mention that this pitch should be absolutely apple pie order after lunch. And it's been playing pretty good just last.
That shot again, doesn't he? Hooked beautifully. Look at that go into the fence for 4. It hit the fence like a rocket. And Darling now moves on to 59, and it's 1 for 106. Anything short, and he pounds it. There's another hook shot. Is it 4? No. Well fielded out there on the fence by Miller as Darling comes back for his second run. And a beautiful throw by Miller from backward square.
Well, after that flurry of runs, we have the man who really pins the batsman down. That's Mike Hendrick. He's not the fastest bowler, but he is the most accurate bowler England has, and he's going to make runs a little hard to find, which is pretty good tactics by Brearley.
Once again on the onside. There could be 2 in this. The ball sped away fairly quickly. Yes, a comfortable 2 to Darling. Takes him on to 63. Oh, beautiful shot by Darling. Very glassy leg cut. He's looking for 2. He'll have to run, but he's very fast and gets in quite comfortably. Good cricket. That was a good throw by Boycott too from third man. Oh, that's a good shot. That's hit high in the air. Is it 6? No, 4 runs. It's a good shot played by Hughes. He moves on to 47, and the total 1 for 123.
So Willis now to come in and bowl his first ball of the second session. Wide, and Hughes slashes. He's out. He's caught. Brilliantly caught. Is that Embry at mid-off?
Yes.
What a lovely catch, and Hughes really slashed at that ball. It was just a loosener from Willis. Fairly short.
The ball short, not really there to drive, and this was virtually a slash outside the off stump. Now, let's think back to the Melbourne Test. Let's think back to the second innings when Hughes batted well to score, I think, 48. And in the second innings, he was caught in identical fashion by Gower at cover.
So now it's the captain, Graham Yallop, who took over the gloves when John McLean left the field yesterday, who will now face his first ball from Bob Willis. Willis, the only wicket taker. Figures of 2 for 30.
So Darling it is. The form batsman, 69 to his name, to face Embry.
A 3-6 field, no slip. A little quicker. Perhaps the arm ball drifting away to the offside.
Yes, certainly no spin, no turn. Then again, there isn't much spin in this wicket.
Quicker, and Darling cuts delightfully away from Gooch's left hand at point. It's quite a chase out towards the boundary, and the batsmen have time to run back for an easy 3. Willis to Darling, and back and cuts again, cuts beautifully. Back very quickly and absolutely motionless, but Boycott fields from third man, just a single. Darling 73. Yallop now waiting his approach. Short, and Yallop hooks. Not a convincing hook, but he put it well over Gower's head at backward square leg. They'll take 2 as Boycott runs around from fine leg to field.
And after that ball, Willis stopped in his follow-through and put his hands on his knees with his head bowed. I don't know whether it was out of exasperation or just exhaustion.
He's walking down towards skipper Mike Brearley. John Embry just gives him a pat on the back. Conference there between the two, Brearley and Willis.
Yes,
certainly unwell.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that if he is unwell, it's certainly not...
he's going off the field, actually.
It's certainly not heat. I rather fancy that he might be ill.
That cut away, and that'll be 4 runs. The ball cut away off the pitch, and Yallop watched it very, very carefully, picked the gap between the gully and third slip.
So it's Botham bowling to Yallop, 2 for 146. No ball called by umpire Baelish, so Sundays move on to 14, and the total 2 for 147.
Yes, he really got himself into a bad position there. I think he's going to go for that one. That's come through a bit quicker than he anticipated.
That's a good shot. Yes, it could be 2 to Yallop. Timed nicely, fielded by Miller. And Yallop goes back to his second run, which takes him now on to 9, and the total 2 for 149, only 3 short of England's total. What would be your policy now, Bob, from the Australian batting point of view? Just try and get a few quick singles?
Yes, I think they should be trying to make the English fieldsmen work a bit harder, and also the bowlers. On a day like this, they've got to keep them moving in all the time if they can.
That's a good shot also from Yallop. Fieldsman out there, straight to him. And that's the 150 up to Australia. 2 for 150, and Yallop 10. An easy single for Darling. Takes him now on to 79, and the total 2 for 151. Botham bowling to Yallop. Easy single to Yallop, and the scores are now level. Australia 2 for 152 in reply to England's total all out for 152. So it's a bonus situation now for every run scored by Australia from now on. Slower one, but he's hit that beautifully. That has gone into the fence before. Beautiful shot, a slower ball from Botham. And Darling picked that one up very, very well indeed and clobbered it into the fence before.
Very quick to pick this as a slower one, and the shortness of the delivery. Look how well across he is, and he's waited on that. And you won't get a better hook shot than that. Perfect position.
And now Darling, the batsman, without his helmet. Probably a little bit hot for him, that helmet, or whatever you call it. They wear a lot of
skull cap
gear.
almost, isn't it?
Skull cap, yes.
Yes, it probably is. It's obviously quite heavy and hasn't got a lot of air holes in it. And I imagine I know even in batting an ordinary cap, you do get very hot.
Doesn't look like Darling, does it, without
No.
that helmet? But I can assure you it is. And there goes that hook shot again. He didn't quite time it. There'll be 2 or 3 in this. Being chased from the mid-on position by Edmonds. And that's a big hit by Yallop. That should be 4. That's a good shot. A slow ball from Embry, and he clobbered that one over and wide of mid-on into the fence in front of the Sheridan stand.
Yallop has got magnificent time. Look at the ease in which he just hits this. Just a little flick. Look. No effort whatsoever. Short backswing, a little chip shot to the green, Jim.
Well, looks like a bowling change. We have Miller coming on in place of Embry. It's a good shot by Darling, resulting in a single, and Darling 9 short of his century.
Gooch to Yallop. That time he connected a beautiful shot from Yallop. That was a magnificent hit. He got right onto that. Yallop to 24, 2 for 178, and that's the 50 partnership. It's Miller with his spinners. He'll bowl to Darling, who's on 91. And is he caught? Yes, he's out. Yes, he's out. Darling caught by Botham. Bowled Miller for 91. Australia 3 for 178. And that's Miller's first wicket, 1 for 14.
And a beautiful catch. The ball spun, and that was a beautiful catch by Botham. It went straight, but he is very close to the bat. There we go. Watch this man, Miller. Off spinner. Didn't go very high, as you can see, and Botham close up took a beautiful catch.
And Tui not getting a run there, but yes, there was a single there. Misfield by Gowan. They're 3 for 1. And the loud roar, of course, to greet Tui's first run. And it's 3 for 179. And he's caught. Yes, he's out. Tui caught Miller. Well, that was Gooch who caught the catch. Tui caught Gooch. Bowled Botham for 1. Australia 4 for 179. That wasn't a good shot. Now Australia has 2 left-handers at the crease in Yallop and Border. And away it goes from Border. Got right inside that and sailing out to the mid-wicket boundary. A very confident shot indeed. So Border 4 for 184. And beaten, that one spun past the bat. A good ball from Embry.
Well, that gives you some indication what's to come in this match. That was a ball, the best spun more than any ball of this match. And that was a very good ball and really beat Yallop.
And give himself room. He's cracked that through the field beautifully. And even though the ball's slowing down, there's nobody chasing it. And it's not into the fence yet. Now, a little boy picked it up. That may not have reached the fence. And the boys picked it up about 3 or 4 metres inside the boundary. I probably think they would have run for anyway. And he's lofted it straight over mid-on. That was a beautiful shot from Yallop. A very confident hit. Oh, Yallop to 36, 4 for 195, and Yallop running into top form out there now.
Yes, Yallop has got his confidence really going, and you can see this stroke, a lot of room out there, and he goes down, takes the punter and hits it beautifully. And at 40 odd he made in Melbourne was possibly the best innings he's played this year, and he's full of confidence.
And another cut, good shot. Chase for Embry. It mightn't be 4. They've taken 2. And round they go for 3.
Will that beat Brady? Yes, it does. A single. Broad grin on Lever's face as he sees his skipper crashing to the turf. And that brings up the 200 for Australia. Hendrick bowling to Yallop. Oh, and that's off the edge. What a great catch by this man, Botham. He is the most amazing cricketer. if he's not taking wickets or making runs, he's producing phenomenal catches. And that ball fairly flew off the edge from Australian captain Graham Yallop. And that was a most magnificent catch. Watch it again on the replay.
The ball wide of the off stump. Yallop tempted, going for the back foot square drive. Edges, and both of them takes the catch, going well to his left. And look how he hangs on to that. I think they'll need a hammer and chisel to get that ball out of his hand.
So a lot of responsibility on Border's and McLean's shoulders now. Australia holding a lead of only 58.
And that's a nick. Could be 4. We'll just wait and see. Been going into the fence before, yes, from an attempted drive. Got an outside edge. And that's the first boundary for quite some considerable time.
Feel the leg before. He's out. Yes. McLean, leg before to Embury for 12. Border not out 24. Australia 6 for 235. And Embury now takes his first wicket, so it means that 5 English bowlers have each taken wickets.
That looked absolutely plumb, and you'll see the ball doesn't spin, which McLean paid for, and the ball goes straight.
So Rodney Hogg will replace McLean. And Hogg using his feet but putting no power on the shot. There is a long off out there.
Hogg is going to his idea. There's a lot of space and no deep fieldsman on the onside. He intended to hit a ball out there.
There it goes, and a good shot. And he really got onto that. Straight over the top of mid-wicket, right in the middle of the bat, and 4 to Hogg. It's 6 for 239. Hendrick to Border. And he thought there's danger here. They're both down the same end. And they might get out of this. They could get out of it. No, he's run out. Hogg's out. That was absolutely stupid. That was one of the worst run-outs I think we've seen. It could have happened twice. They should have been run out at one end and then finally at the other. But Hogg has been run out for 6. And this is one of the worst you could ever see. A dreadful mix-up. It's 7 for 245.
And the fieldsman has done the wrong thing. He threw it the wrong end. Now let's watch this. Border plays. Now look at this. Yes, no, yes. Now Gower throws the wrong end and he got both together. Now Ruckenough could back up, good throw back, and Hogg miles down the track.
Well, there's that. And there's a hook shot, and he's got onto that. Yes, that's the first one he's played. That's a beautiful shot. Border is a very good hooker, but he's restrained himself in his innings, and that's the first one he's really played. And he goes on to 47, 7 for 268.
This ball was very short indeed. It was closer to both of them than it was to Border. And this enabled Border to have plenty of time in which to get into position to really pull that. It wasn't a hook, it was a pull.
And a slower ball, and well played. He might get 3 here for his 50. I think 2 only, perhaps. Let's see. Yes, back for 2 only for 49. Border to 49. 7 for 271. And that slower ball of both, and the batsman has to really wait for it, doesn't he?
Yes, not only that, it seems to move in the air. It curves into the left-hander, as you can see. And it pitched very close to Border's toes. Possibly Botham gets a little bit of swerve by cutting the ball, off-cutting it.
And that's his 50. No, it's not. No. It looked like it. It went to Gooch.
A few problems now for skipper Mark Brearley. This pair has been associated for an hour. Single. Well done, Jeff Dimmick. Watch the ball very carefully on these bat as it turns slowly away from him.
Dimmick's a great fighter. You see him there watching, as Paul said, very closely, and it's a perfect example of fine focus.
Border back and turns that delicately off his pads. That's his 50. And a very generous round of applause from this rather large Sydney crowd. 3 runs. Dimmick comes back very, very quickly. And that's his first 50 in Test matches. It took him 192 minutes, so it's been a model of concentration. And he's struck 3 fours in it. Well played, Alan Border.
Yes. very good, tenacious innings. He's played very sensibly under the circumstances, played straight and taken the opportunity there when the loose ball comes along to hit it.
Dimmick now. And he's out, caught.
Dropped.
Dropped. Dear, oh dear. The ball came straight into the hands of... is it Brearley? Yes, it's Brearley in there in that position. Let's have a look at the replay. And they're taking the single. A rather drastic rearrangement of the fieldsman now. The gully comes in. That's Gooch. Fairly close to the bat. And I would suggest that we'll see some alteration in the pace of Botham. Short. Dimmick employing a shot that I think he hasn't used for a couple of years.
And Dimmick certainly thinks he can handle the bowlers because he's gone the big hook. A little late, but he wasn't in bad position.
And I think umpire Baelish has said something to Botham, and Botham has pointed to Captain Brearley, who's the spokesman of the side. And I think England skipper Mike Brearley will be saying, well, he's hung around for an hour now, and we're not going to pitch the ball up on the half volley. Umpire Baelish is pretty adamant in applying the rule about tail enders.
I think I'd be a bit cross if I was out there right now.
Well, there's no question that Dimmick is playing very, very capably this morning. Of course, he was dropped by that very sharp chance at forward point in the previous over, but look at that for a defensive shot. Bat beautifully vertical.
You can't get him much better than that, and he's had plenty of time. So what does a bowler do on a wicket like this? I think you're entitled to let the batsman know that he's not going to have it his own way, whether he's batting number 8 or number 1.
There he goes. He's a great character, Ian Botham. That's the wicket that the Englishman wanted, because with just Hurst and Higgs now between the end of Australia's innings, there's not a lot of support now for Alan Border. Dimmick did a wonderful job, stuck around for an hour. Let's watch it now.
Well, it's really stirred Botham, because that's quite a quick one, and Dimmick's tried to go the drive, and out goes the stumps.
That's Australia's 8th wicket, with the score at 276. Dimmick bowled by Botham for 5.
Well through the gaps. That's the angle coming around the wicket which makes all the difference, and the stump nicely out of the ground. I love to see that.
Jim Higgs now striding out manfully to the crease. A little bit of a competition between Hurst and Higgs as to who ought to go in number 10 and number 11.
Yes, he's done well, Higgy, to get up to number 10.
3 slips in the gully now as Botham steams in. A Yorker. And a shot that you probably wouldn't find in the MCC coaching manual, but...
it's a Jay Higgs special, though. I was speaking to him just before the start of the play, and he's very pleased with himself. He's batting 10.
No backlift. David Gower in a position about 3/4 of the way to the boundary at mid-wicket for the unknown Higgs lap shot. He's unlikely to play a shot there, I think. That's his shot. The squeeze off the outside edge for a single.
You're taking too lightly, Paul, I feel, this great man now. But I think if Jim Higgs is to reach the man there at mid-wicket, he's probably going to take a long 2-wood, followed by another 2-wood, and perhaps a little chip.
And missed again. Taylor couldn't quite find where that ball went. It spun off the bottom edge of Border's bat and went round in circles almost.
This was an unusual one. He's hit over the top of it. It's hit onto his pads, and in fact, he did well there, Taylor, to stop it with his foot. That's a fine piece of wicket keeping. It really is.
3 slips in the gully for the batting of Higgs. And that's a thickish inside edge.
And run, Jim, he's not the quickest man.
Be out had the stumps been hit.
Beautiful clear blue sky and a reasonable crowd. At 10,000, I would suggest at this stage. Runs this time. It could be two in this. It's Boycott down there at third man as Higgs comes back with his second run. And that takes him into double figures. This must be his highest score in first-class cricket. 11 not out. And the partnership is now worth, let's see, 276 when they came together. It's worth 14, of which he scored 11.
Well, can you work that out?
As we say often, Keith, cricket's a funny game.
The boot should be on the other foot, in effect. 11 to Higgs. Well, that must give great confidence to Hurst, his Victorian teammate.
It could be out caught.
Yeah.
Yes, caught at second slip by Botham, I think it was. So Higgs out, caught Botham, bowled Henrik for 11, Australia 9 for 290.
Yeah, it's a good delivery just outside the off stump, and a very good catch, very low down by Botham. He's got some good catches this year, and it's very low. It's quite a simple catch, a little low, but it's just it's quite a comfortable catch, and went straight into those big hands of his.
Really just having a word with Miller. Obviously discussing tactics. Push it through, keep it short of a length, I would think. Don't toss it up to him.
Boy, may as well take 4 for here by a little lofted shot.
He tries hard and it could be 4 feet. He picked it well. Straight through the covers, extra cover in fact before. That was a beautiful shot. And Border goes on to 60. He jumped down the wicket very quickly and played a delightful shot. So Australia now 9 for 294.
There's a shot. I think he wanted to lift it and got a little close to it. And so he intended and finally hit it along the ground. A good shot. And there's another 4 in the offering, the same type of shot. There's only one man deep, and he may as well have a go.
Well, it could be a run out on here.
Stupid.
So it's Australia all out. Suicidal run. Australia all out for 294. Hurst run out without scoring. The clock showing 20 minutes to 1 Sydney time. So we'll have approximately 10 minutes of batting by England in their second innings. Let's have a look at this again.
This is absolute cricket stupidity. Cricket suicide. Call it what you like. Look where he's hit the ball. Look where the ball is going. Straight back to the bowler. Oh, well. Not very intelligent.
So the situation, Australia all out for 294, giving them a lead of 142. Australia lead of 142, and Boycott on strike. He's out. Boycott is out. First ball, LBW. England 1 for none. What a sensation.
And it was the simplest of looser-up deliveries you could ever wish to see. Hogg has just rolled his arm off, rolled his arm over, and Boycott just casually pushed forward and leg before, and Geoffrey Boycott didn't like it. He looked at the umpire, glared at him. This is what you call an absolute looser-up. Half pace. And it's cut back, as you can see, and Geoffrey pushed forward a little, but he's out. And 1 for none, first ball to Hogg.
So it's Hogg coming into bowl to Randall, who's on a pair. And Hogg, most times, Keith, you've seen him right through the series, but his first over, it's more or less an arm listener, isn't it?
Hey, no effort at all. He just, as I say, it's only a slow medium delivery, and the first one was, and so was that. Now it's going to be interesting to see if he bowls a bumper, because twice this series, Randall in the first innings and once in, I think it was Perth, he bowled a bumper and tried to hook as soon as he came in.
So Randall off the pair. He's taken a single out to cover point. Randall 1, England 1 for 1. Australia all out for 294, a lead of 142. And Brearley, who scored just over 50 runs in this series for 7 innings, not in very good form at all. So it's a lot of pressure on him at the moment. Hogg bowling to Brearley. Must be close.
Ooh, look at the slips.
Everybody went up.
Ooh, they all went up in slips. Very keen out there. And a very similar delivery and a very similar stroke that did Geoffrey Boycott. Almost identical ball. Looks like a carbon copy of the one of Boycott, wasn't it? But this time given not out. Well, you're sitting at home. You can judge it for yourself. He's given not out.
Hogg bowling to Brearley. Well up, and Brearley's off the mark. It's a nice shot past extra cover. Being chased by Darling. Brearley coming back for 2, and that's all he'll get. Hogg bowling to Brearley. And Brearley once again flicks that ball down to fine legs. And quite a nice shot from the bowling of Hogg. He moves on to 3. And the total 1 for 4. Hogg bowling for Randall. It's a nice shot from Randall. Through mid-wicket. Taken 1. Should get 2 quite comfortably. Which they do. So Randall also 3. Dimick to Brearley. Single to Brearley. He plays it out to point. Brearley moves on to 4, and the total 1 for 7. Randall taking guard from umpire French. Well, England have quite a sizable task to win this match, Keith.
Especially with the great man out, Geoffrey Boycott.
That's a good delivery. That must be close. All ducked back very late.
I would like to see that one on replay. I would like to see that. That came back very quickly, as Jim Berg said, and he's shuffling on the crease. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, well. Oh, well. I don't quite agree with the umpire looking at that one. I normally don't say that, but it looks absolutely plumb to me.
Well, what a sensational opening. As invariably happens, the next ball's hit for 4. That's a nice shot by Randall, close extra cover. Ball well pitched up, and he hit it right in the middle. And Randall moves on to 7. And the total 1 for 11. So at lunch, England 1 for 11 in reply to the Australian total of 294.
And Hogg will bowl the 3rd over of the innings, the first over after lunch. And it's England skipper in the helmet, Mike Brearley, facing. And Brearley forward on the front foot. Off the inside edge of the bat onto the pad, I suspect. Down to fine leg, quickly through for the single. A misfield by Hurst, but Brearley had given up hope for a second. And so the misfield wasn't costly. Just 1 run. Hogg, 30 wickets in the series. No ball called, and Randall in position, eased it off the outside edge. It's racing down towards the boundary. And Tui won't pick it up. That ball fairly scooted across this dryish ground now. 4 runs takes Randall into double figures. Wood has dropped back. Backward square leg. And Randall felt a little bit for that one, but got on top of it, put it wide of Yallop in the gully. It's coming out towards the boundary in front of the members' stand. There'll be 3 runs in it. There's a long throw back from Yallop. And that 3 to Randall takes him to 14 and the total to 25.
And Hogg again off his short run.
Really works that one away off his hip, runs straight down the middle of the pitch. Very quickly through for the first run and comfortably back for the second. Into double figures now. He's 11. Short, and Randall hooks this time, but hooks very, very well indeed. Dead square of the wicket, along the ground, all the way into the fence in front of the ladies' stand. Big pair of shoulders, Hogg. Well up, and Randall drives straight. A lovely shot. Straight back where the bowler delivered the ball. Racing out towards the boundary, but Darling is after it. He prevents more than 2 being taken. And a good hard return back to the bowler's end. 2 to Randall, in good position for that drive. England down to the 40s. Randall 23.
Look at that movement again. Onto the back foot, and now forward again into the drive. Quite astounding. Randall goes so far back, one would think that he couldn't reach very far in front of the popping crease when he drives, but he does. He gets there.
England now just 101 in arrears. On the leg stump, Randall packs it away for a single. And that's Dimmick doing the fielding.
Well, it's Higgs, and he'll be bowling to Brearley. And that one spun, didn't it?
That didn't, well, the length of it surprised me. The fact that it spun so much, that's a huge spinner.
It's a good shot played by Brearley and a single, and that's the 50 up to England. And great bit of throwing by Yallop, it was, from mid-off. He threw the wicket down, but Randall was quite comfortably home. And looks like bowling changed down at the far end. Hurst will be coming into the attack. That's a nice shot by Brearley. Could be 2 in this. No, he's deciding against it with Hogg doing the fielding. At fine leg, so 1 only to Brearley. Takes him on to 19. And the total 1 for 51. Could be runs here to Randall. Yes, that's a nice shot from Randall. 2 or 3 in it. Looks like only 2. So 2 to Randall takes him on to 30. The fieldsman was Dimmick, by the way, and the total 1 for 53.
The outfield's still quite slow. That was a good shot, yet he only got 2 runs to it. No, many an occasion in Sydney when that would have run for 4.
Hurst bowling to Randall. Another nice shot. There'll be 3 in this. Wood, the fieldsman. And going back for 3 quite comfortably. So Randall moving very nicely on to 33, and the total 1 for 56. Really the batsman now with Hurst bowling to him. More runs, 1, possibly 2. Hogg, the fieldsman, really looking for 2. He'll have to
Well run by Brearley.
And over the head of the second slip down to the boundary for 4. No need to run for that. And that's runs, yes, down towards the boundary. A chase there for Wood. They've taken 2. Let's see if they want a third. This time they're running much more freely between wickets, and they come back to the third run easily.
Higgs now to Brearley again. That's Hughes at mid-off. Wrongen, Brearley picks it and punches it square at the wicket on the onside. That's 4 runs. And he reaches wide for that, but it's beautifully steered wide of Wood in the cover. Darling's after it. It won't reach the boundary. They'll come back for 3.
In fact, Yallop is still maintaining 2 men in the catching positions in the slip and gully. Also Wood in the catching position at short leg. And yet he's stationed a man out at deep at square leg, so he's had to pull his mid-wicket out and drop him right down the fence.
There's a single. Could be more. Yes, it beats Hogg. And that'll go out to the boundary. It's 4 runs.
Border from the far end now to bowl to Randall. To Darling. And the full toss hasn't been put properly away. There's a misfield there. They'll get a single there. And the total going up to 99. Higgs to Randall. And that one, the batsman I think had plenty of time, was too short.
Yes, I don't know what Randall was trying to do here, though. He spun, and it's almost as if he tried to pull it away in the end.
And appeal for leg before, but very, very close, but not out. That was the one that went straight through.
Yes, I think perhaps it was a little bit of a bat, or in fact it may have been going down the leg side.
From the far end, it's Border. He'll bowl to Brearley. And that wasn't a confident shot either. That was in the air off the bat.
Turned his wrist a bit quick here, I think, and he's got this on almost on the outside edge as he's tried to turn it to square leg.
Not easy going for the batsmen out there. It's taken them from 4:30 to 5 to 5. That's 26 minutes now. In fact, it's 4 minutes to 5 to go from 96 to 99.
It's better delivery. They've in fact gone from a rate of nearly 4 and over in their first 10 overs. Now that they're just over probably 2.25.
Which means the last 30 overs have been very slow. Well, attempted sweep. No run.
I think Jimmy Higgs would be pretty pleased with that one, because that was about middle and leg. Let's have a look at that now. He's thrown it in there. Yes, that's definitely about middle and leg. Short also for the sweep. But that's what happens when the pressure goes on. You start to get a little concerned, try to do something you shouldn't.
Full toss, and he'll only get a single from this full toss. And that's the 100 up. A raw to beat England's 100, 1 for 100, which is also the century partnership between these two.
That's very high.
There's a lolly, but it's not put away for 4. It might be a couple here too, as we have a fieldsman out there, Hurst. And that's the 50 to Brearley. Brearley's first half century of the series, and it ends a long run of outs. It's his 8th innings to reach a half century. And Higgs round the wicket, and he'll bowl to Randall. And a single straight away, maybe more than that, because Wood has a run round. They'll get 2, and that's Randall's 50.
And then there's an appeal. I think it's bowling. Yes, the first or the second wicket to fall. Really bowled by Border for 53. 2 for 111.
In 33 minutes this morning. No wickets. Sundry's 10. Well up again, and this time Randall picks the gap. It's a lovely shot in the cover area. Beautifully timed. Darling will pick it up about 10 metres in from the fence. Randall quickly through for the 3rd run as the return comes in. So Randall is into the 70s. England now 2 for 141. Just one more run required to make Australia bat. Quite a long chase there for Darling.
Randall showing himself there to be the master of timing, very close to the pad. Notice that bat. Very tight technique.
Pitched well up, squeezed out by Gooch. What a brilliant piece of fielding by Tui. And Gooch had to scramble through there for a single. Lovely piece of fielding by Peter Tui at backward point. So scores all even at the moment. 2 for 142, and that ball turned outside the edge of Gooch's bat. It must have gone perilously close to the edge. Agonised cry from behind the wicket. Wrong. Gooch pulls it away, this time along the ground. You remember in the first innings he pulled a long hop in the air from Jim Higgs out to Peter Tui on the fence, who took a spectacular catch, but that was along the ground all the way. A single to backward square leg. Gooch into double figures.
Gooch in admirable position here to hit that ball.
That ball was off the outside edge. Arms flung in the air by the bowler, but there is no catch. It's a long chase for Darling down at the fence. Gooch is going to come back for 3. The arm of Darling not quite as powerful as we have seen it throughout the series. He had some trouble in Melbourne, was obviously still affecting him. 3 runs to Randall. He's 73, and the total 146.
And beaten. That one spun past the bat. A good ball.
Much better bowling by Jim Higgs this morning. He's changed his line. That's it. They're pitching about middle and legs, spinning away. Now, what has happened this morning is Jimmy Higgs, who's so often on Monday was wide outside the off, has gone to a position where he's bowling wider of the crease, and this means he's pushing it into the pads and spinning, and he's not bowling as many balls outside the off stump, so it's wider than he normally is.
And again, that gave the impression it was going up in the air off the bat. Now, this is the 63rd over. Now, do you take the new ball, Bob, or would you delay it?
I'd give Higgsy a couple more, I think, then give him a little break. It must be pretty hot out. Norman, we get reports over our mics that our cameramen are getting a little dizzy, and that's a fair idea of just how hot it is.
Yes. And that's a chance dropped. He dropped him. That was a chance to Wood, I would say. Let's see it again on replay.
Yes, he covered this well, Wood. He moved nicely, got the ball in his hand, and it was jolted out as he fell. Let's have a look. Push forward. Just the hand just coming in there, and doesn't quite make it. Hit the middle of the hand, I would have thought, too.
Now, on this end, it's going to be Hurst to continue. He'll bowl to Randall. So, only 13 runs again scored in 54 minutes. Very slow scoring this morning. And a swing again by Randall. Oddly enough, the tempo of the game's changed all of a sudden. The last 15 minutes or so, all of a sudden the bowlers are coming back and taking command.
Well, this is because, Norman, the batsmen have done nothing to try and get on top. Now, when this sort of situation has... Have a look at this now. This is a casual shot by Randall. It's just a very wide and a little guide shot. Now, desperation, when you start to get completely tied down, you play loose strokes. And it's important for the Englishman to try and get on top, to attack, not just to hang around.
And that almost bowled him. That went very close. It came back. Here it is again.
Absolute superb delivery. Watch this one cut in from outside. Look at that. That must have been almost over the top of off stump.
And there's that Randall pull shot. He's got onto that one pretty well. That could be 4. And that's getting out to the boundary at mid-wicket for the first boundary this morning. So England to 150 with Randall on 77. And here's Gooch to face up to Higgs again, and this will be the 65th over.
Good tight spell by Jim Higgs this morning.
And just wide. That was almost a chance again. That's the second slip. I don't think he got a touch to it. That was Border. Had to dive very wide to his right-hand side.
Just wide of the camera here.
What do you think, Bob? In the batsman's favour, that one? It may not have been a touch.
We may get it from this angle. It was very difficult to tell. In fact, it's gone off the pad. Unless you got a...
Yes, the raw then may have been appealed for leg before.
I think the fieldsman at present in slips with the ball spinning so much that Kim Hughes should be a bit wider there, and Alan Border wider and shorter, because that's the catch you're going to get. The one's going to get the outside edge and come down.
And it dropped again. That was, well, not dropped, that was through the hands completely of Hughes, and had Hughes been standing one pace wider, he'd have swallowed it.
Yes, it's would have went straight to his stomach and would have at least hit him in the body. He is a little fine. Look at this now. Gooch losing control of himself, trying, and Kim Hughes grabbing at it. What a pity.
And they're taking runs here. That's at least 2. That's Darling fielding. They're coming back for the second, an easy 2. And over goes Darling, but he's okay. And it's 2 for 158 with Gooch on 16 and Randall 78. So Dimmock with 1 slip. And again, that ball, the Dimmock can get away from the right-hander.
Randall here, I think he's looking a bit distressed, Randall. This one's very loose shot again. I was watching him an over ago, and he seems to be struggling a little out there. I wouldn't be surprised if the heat has got at Randall just for a moment. You can see that very wide grip of the bat there.
And again, there were two shots, not Randall-type shots. He's trying to get himself all right, but
there's the grip, hands wide, not nearly to the ball. Look how he's really had to stretch for that one, and very fortunate to have got away with two in a row.
There's a great big gap there, Keith, out at point with Higgs spinning the ball away to the offside. There'd be runs aplenty there, wouldn't he?
It'd only have to be one just a little short of length, and that's thank you, isn't it? How many runs will it take? 2, 3 or 4?
It's a good delivery.
Well, McLean, I don't know what he's doing. He thinks it must have gone through the stumps. Let's watch this delivery. It's got a good one. Oh. McLean must have said something to Yallop. Must say, what about bringing a man in close? Because he obviously said something.
He's out caught. Gooch out caught by Yallop from the bowling of Higgs for 22. England 3 for 169. Let's have a look at that again.
Yes, that first delivery did him. Now let's another leg break. Now where did it go? Yes, off the bat and very close to the wicket, and a good catch. And I would say that the first delivery was the real delivery which caused the downfall. It's a beautiful ball. Now what's this again? Not much doubt about that, was there?
So this is a very interesting period, this period of 25 minutes before lunch. Very vital to both teams.
Just maybe that new ball will be delayed now that Higgs has broken through.
So Higgs to bowl round the wicket to Gower. It's a nice little full toss for him, first up, and he's off the mark with 2, possibly 3. And that's 3 to Gower, opens his account. Comfortable single to Randall, down to backward square. First, we understand, is not feeling 100% as well. So we have two players. This player batting at the moment, Gower, who's got an infected throat, and Hurst, who's unwell as well. Another full toss, and that's 4. Beautiful shot. So Higgs a little erratic with the introduction of Gower coming to the crease, and that was a gloriously hit cover drive, which takes Gower onto 7, and the total 3 for 177. Well, Higgs is reverting to around the wicket again, following to Gower. And that one spun, that landed in that rough patch outside the off stump end, but it spun sharply.
And what about another man close on the leg side? After you see this spin, you've got to have a man on that leg side. Look at that.
And that's a nice shot played by Gower, and that should be 4. Beautiful shot. Doesn't he time that ball sweetly, this fellow? Beautiful player to watch. Quite well timed by Gower. Pitched up a little far. Gower's only been at the wickets for some 20-odd, 30 minutes probably. Scored 18 runs.
He just hits it in the ground, does not time it.
Is he out? Not out, says umpire French, and everybody went up there in close.
Not very happy, those boys, are they?
Very happy. Let's have a look at that again.
Not very happy. The poor umpires, I wouldn't like their jobs.
Okay, so the score at lunch, England 3 for 191, leading by 49, with Gower on 18, Randall on 87.
The left-handed Gower facing Higgs.
The 82nd over. That ball would have turned, I would say, about almost 2 feet.
Wide outside the off stump. It was in the air, but well over Yallop. Much too quick for him. It's a short cover, 4 runs. Yardley trots to the fence to pick it up.
Isn't this player Gar a tremendous player, really? I mean, his temperament is so good. He's not inhibited by any situation. He still plays his natural game, irrespective of the state of the game. And that's a beautiful off drive. Oh, the
Bad ball. It's struck away by Gar, but it goes behind square leg. And it's Peter Toohey down there who does the fielding and does it well. That brings up the England 200. And the new ball has been signalled to the batsmen, to the scorers and to the scoreboard. It'll be taken by Jeff Dimmick, bowling from the Randwick end, and he'll bowl it to Derek Randall. 2 slips and a gully, a point, a cover, a mid-off, a mid-on, a forward square leg and a third fine leg.
So that's the 85th over, saw the taking of the second new ball. 20 overs late. Well, 20 overs after it was due. Let's not say it was late.
Well up, and Randall strikes that beautifully, but Darling fields well. No run.
Temperature here somewhere in the 40s now, I would say.
And there's a square drive just behind point by Randall. It's going out towards the fence in front of the ladies' stand. Darling won't reach it, and that ball fairly flew off the outside edge of the bat. Obviously, this new ball is much firmer than the old one, and that ball had no trouble in reaching the boundary.
Very good shot there, with Randall opening the blade of the bat and angling the ball wide of the cover fieldsman.
The total 208. Randall just 7 from the cover to 3 figures. And he's put that away for runs again. It'll be 2. Hogg trots around from fine leg. So runs are plenty with this new ball. Hogg now to Gar. Well pitched up off the toes, delightfully past square leg. It'll bring more than 1. The batsmen not really extending themselves between the wickets. They realise it's very hot out there and there's no point in exhausting yourself running between the wickets. It brings 2. Hogg again to Gar. They'll take a single this time as he plays it to the gap on the offside between Yallop and Darling. And that's short and hooked away by Randall gloriously to the square leg boundary. Neither batsman needed to move. What a splendid hook shot that was.
Well, Randall is certainly moving with great alacrity through these nervous 90s.
Watch this.
That short delivery, and Randall in beautiful position. Right inside the line of the ball.
He pivots beautifully on that right leg, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Do you notice that he hooks off the front foot? He goes back and then comes forward and pivots on the front foot.
Randall, just 1 more for the 3 figures. A slow innings, but extremely valuable. And again, the same result. And that's 4 more runs now. You couldn't think of a better way to reach your century. What a glorious hand from the England team's point of view. Randall now on 103, and the total into the 220s, 222. That's his 2nd Test match century. The partnership now worth 53. That 4 also registered the 50 partnership. And again, that's hooked away down to fine leg. It's a long chase for Dimmick. He puts a boot on it, but can't prevent it crashing into the fence. That's 3 hook shots we've seen reach the boundary in this over. Very expensive over. There hasn't been a ball bowled that hasn't been scored from.
And I might add that if Hogg continues to bowl like this, we will see Australia losing its grip on the game.
15 runs from the over.
This is far too lavish an approach, far too extravagant an approach. And there's another hook shot from Randall. Beautifully executed.
50 partnership was registered in a very smart time of 50 minutes.
This is the Henry Blowfield stand, is it?
Yes, it's actually the Henry Blowfly. It's just down below stand. There's Henry, the Zingari tie and the ball plate getting fairly burnt.
Hogg bowling to Gower. And there's a pilfer caught behind. He's out. Gower is out. Court McLean bowled Hogg for 34. England 4 for 237. Hogg 2 for 54.
Too far up for the square cut. And Gower really, who played so very, very well, played a shot which I'm sure he'll be very upset about.
Well, that puts us probably a slightly different slant on the game now, with Botham, the next batsman, in. Botham, who top scored with 59 in the first innings. If they can get him cheaply, Australia, well, it's a new ball game, Bob.
Yes, 4-4-95 in reality, so the game's still open.
So Hogg bowling to Botham.
Yes.
Botham off the mark. That's a good shot down to fine leg. Was fielded by Dimmock.
And there it is, England's lead, 98. So Higgs with his spinners to Randall. And he's dropped by Hughes.
Looked an easy catch, but if you're standing in first slip like that, for a shot like that, you're not expecting it. And poor old Jim Higgs, he's had a rough time, but looks an easy catch. But when you're standing in slips, it's not as easy as all that.
And the sweep shot is going straight to Hogg out there. They may get two here. In fact, that's not Hogg. It's Hurst, and they get a beautiful throw from Hurst, and they get 2 more runs. And the slower ball, they're taking a single here to Toohey, and Toohey's return is a good one, but Botham home. So Randall 118, 4 for 245. Hurst to continue, and he'll bowl to Randall. And that's dropped, is it? That may have been a chance. But by the look of the players, that was a chance off Randall. He gets a run. Let's see. Yes, it was off the bat. Off the bat, the umpire has indicated that was a run, and here it is again.
An inside edge, this, and watch Hurst. He's really disappointed. Inside edge. What's the ball deflect, and what's McLean? Takes a very belated effort and muffs it completely, and John McLean really has not had a very good match, and here we get it again, a different angle. As you can see the ball. Watch how far it deviates to the left, and muffed it.
Short, Botham hooks, fails to make contact.
And I think he was pretty close to that.
Jim Higgs wanting a slight alteration in the field.
And he's wanting Hurst a little bit finer. So he's got 2 fieldsmen now behind on the leg side, and that's the maximum he's allowed. One at backward square leg and one at deep backward square
Higgs
leg.
to Randall. It's a well picked up by Randall. It was a wrong one, and Randall punched it away in front of square leg into the fence for 4. No fieldsman in the mid-wicket area. So he's 124, and the total 242. 252, I beg your pardon. Higgs to Randall. And was that dropped?
Yes.
We've seen a number of balls spin sharply outside the off stump. It's given runs, so it must be another life for Derek Randall.
It was a definite edge. As you can see, the ball going low to, it's Yallop, isn't it? Yallop's left hand.
And a chance here. Yes, he's out. He walked. He's caught. Botham caught by Wood. Bowled Higgs for 6. 5 for 267. A very important dismissal. And Botham did not even wait for the umpire's signal.
No, he was very, very quickly off, and we'll see here in the replay. well-flighted delivery from Higgs, and Botham, as he has all day, just pushing forward and lobbing up to Graham Wood. I really can't understand Botham's tactics. He's a magnificent striker of the ball, and he's just hung around. And it was inevitable that he would get out, because he's not the style of player that can bat like that. He must really get on with the job to do well.
Well, that puts a spark back into the game. The next batsman is Miller. 5 wickets down now. Border to Randall.
Ward has been lightly used today. Thought he could have bowled a few more overs.
Yes, he bowled 11 yesterday, so he's only bowled, this is his 7th today.
Which, under the conditions and circumstances of the match, I think is just a little bit too few overs.
And that's over the head of mid-wicket. It won't be 4, they should get 2 here. The Woods, the fieldsman. Randall's gone from a duck in the first innings to 138 not out, and here he is facing Higgs. And surely can put that away. Yes, that's 4. Just count those. A loose full toss, and Randall to 142, 5 for 274. And a forcing shot for a single only. Not quite onto it, a bit of bottom edge of the bat there, down to backward square.
You can see Jimmy Higgs now. Very seldom is he really whipping through with that arm or body. He's very, very tired out there. Hands must be sore.
And no run out to Darling. Is there anybody out there, Bob, you think could take a wicket? Hogg or Dimmock, who hasn't bowled for a long time? Or is there anything in the pitch for them?
Very little there. I imagine that Graham Yallop would be just content to keep it quiet for a little while now.
And is that a chance? And the umpire says not out. Umpire Bale Ash, there was a dive for that ball by Wood. I don't think there's any doubt that Wood caught the ball. It was the fact whether it was a catch in the first place.
Graham Yallop not very pleased. That short mid-on there. Let's have a look at it. Gone up in the air. Wood certainly covered the distance, but did he hit it?
And a pull shot. That's a good-looking shot from Miller. Out to the long boundary out there for 4 runs. And Miller goes to 5, the total to 281. Now Hogg to Randall. And through the covers. That was a nice-looking shot by Randall. He placed that very well. It's Toohey after it. They've turned for 2. They've completed 2 and happy with 2. Randall 149. They're going for a single here. Yallop coming in fast and hit the stumps. But the batsman was home. And that's 150 to Randall. Randall 150.
Fine player, this man, Randall.
Must be close. LBW, he's out. Randall's out. LBW to Hogg, who struck again. Randall out for 150. England 6 for 292. Well, this has thrown the game open.
Now the game's wide open, and the funniest thing, I think, is the whole thing of Randall. When he's hit in the pads, he couldn't get away quickly enough. I think he's had enough. He looks like he's completely had enough. Normally he's delayed and parried around the crease, but he walks straight off, and he's done a marvellous job for England, and I congratulate him. He's had his ups and downs and ifs and buts decisions went with him, but he's done a great job for England, and I applaud him immensely, because he had to bat in this very hot sauna bath type weather we have had in Sydney. Great innings by Derek Randall. Derek, well done.
Hogg's got his back up now, 3 for 62, and he's running in bowling to Taylor. And another appeal for LBW. Is he out? No, says umpire French. That must have been close because he moved across his wicket.
Well, you saw the last decision. Now, measure that with this one here. I'm not saying anything, but you saw the last delivery and you saw it.
Hogg off a long run now. Pitched well up. And beautifully fielded at backward square leg by Dimmock. Prevents a run. We haven't seen a run from the bat this morning. We've seen 2 byes. but there hasn't been a run scored from the bat. Oh, and that's trapped him in front of the stumps, but not given out by umpire Baylash. That ball seemed to skid through very low.
That must have been terribly close. He was right back. It looked to be a wrong, and could have been the flipper that just came on with the arm.
A good ball from Higgs. Miller followed the spin across, and Tui balked the fielding there. Allowed a single. Border throws back to McLean. That's the first run from the bat. Hogg now from a long run to bowl to Miller. And struck on the pad, an appeal, and he's been given out by umpire French. Umpire French took quite some time to give that decision. Miller struck on the front pad and must have been perilously close to being outside the off stump. Let's have a look at the replay.
Notice the front foot movement of Miller. He goes forward and forward again. I'll tell you who struck in line. The funny thing was that he
He's
seemed
not far forward, is he?
He went back, didn't he? That's the point. He went back before he went forward. And if you look at it again, you'll see that his front foot, in fact, is not much in front of the popping crease, if at all in front of the popping crease.
Embry facing some pressure. 3 slips, a short mid-off and a forward short leg. Well pitched up, perhaps struck on the pad again.
And I think there was a little bit of bat here somewhere. It was jammed between the bat and pad.
Off spinner eased away wide of Tui in the third slip position, and Embry will get some runs from this. Taylor looking to come back for the third, but the lovely throw from Alan Border prevents that third run, so it's 2 to Embry.
It's really probably almost a direct easterly today. Lovely conditions out in the middle.
Well, that was a real lollipop, wasn't it? A normal batsman would have clubbed that anywhere.
It was a temptation ball. I think Jimmy Higgs throwing one up as a bit of a sucker ball.
And it's sweep shot, not a bad one. That's right down towards fine leg. He timed that fairly well, and this outfield is quite fast, and Yardley has not got it. Well, that's one of the rare boundaries we've seen this morning. Is it the first? It may be the first we've seen. Yes, it's the first boundary of the day. 7 for 324, the lead to 182. And a run again. Embry moving on to 13 now, and the total to 325. But here's Higgs, another leg spinner, bowls to Taylor. And they're going for a run. Yes, there'll be more than one there. Darling out in the covers, and they take 2. And in the air, but safe, is it? Yes. Fieldsman all around the place, and it falls to the safe spot.
Jimmy Higgs once again the bowler. Spinning off the top edge, and would you believe that could fall safe? Yes, it can.
And in the air, is
Must be out.
Yes, he's caught by Darling. Yes, caught by Darling. That was a fine effort, and that's a breakthrough. 8 for 334, and Higgs takes his third wicket. 3 for 142. Embry out for 14.
Embry that time trying to hit the ball way down the ground in the air. Flighted well. Embry, you can see here, trying to hit it over the mid-off probably. Spun, took the outside edge, and Darling coming in very quick. And they've got to wrap these boys up very, very quickly. Of course, now we're looking at 2 sessions for the new ball, too. One before lunch and one after.
And he's out. Yes, first ball. First ball. Caught by Tui.
Well, Tui's
Willis
been about
caught Tui. Bowled Higgs. No score. Higgs 4 for 142. It's 9 for 334.
And Tui about the 6th man tried in the slips field by the Australians, and he snapped that one up nicely. He was a bit shorter. Have a look. Peter Tui's in closer than what the others had been. And this ball is what we've been talking about. Pushing there, getting the edge, and coming down. And look at Jim Higgs. He hasn't had much to cheer about this match.
Higgs has 4 for 142. I think the last man to take a hat-trick was Trumbull around about 1902.
A long while ago, isn't it? Almost be a fitting reward for the effort put in by Jim Higgs and the bad luck that he's had throughout this innings. But here he goes now.
And he saves the hat-trick, but the ball finishing right on the crease line.
Just a little bit too full. Yes, Hendricks is considered the best slips fieldsman in the English team by Ken Barrington.
Well, that's gone through. Yeah, he's got onto that. He's got 4 runs for it. Hendrick to 7, 9 for 346. And he's out. Yes, caught Tui. It's all over. Hendrick caught Tui. Bowled Higgs for 7. Taylor not out 21. All out 346. Australia needs 205 to win the game. And Higgs has 5 for 146. Final replay.
Yes, good catch this. This time the ball being a little closer into the stumps, a bit further up too. And Hendricks has pushed forward. And Peter Tui moving nicely to take that catch.
And Willis to open the attack. He'll be bowling to Darling. Ball lifting quite sharply. First up at Darling off the mark. There's 2 fieldsmen down already, actually, for England. So England's immediately gone on the defensive somewhat with a 3rd man and a fine leg. So runs are going to be a little difficult to score, I would think, at a reasonable rate. However, Australia off to no wicket for 1. Darling on 1. And that ball just lifting quite sharply from short of a length. Runs to Wood, possibly only 1 as a fine leg fieldsman, and well backed up. That return was quite wild from fine leg Embry. It's a good shot by Wood, being chased by Brearley. 2 runs to Wood, takes him on to 4. There's a hook shot.
And that's a beautiful shot. Going into the fence, or over the fence on the bounce. Beautifully timed by Wood, who hit that one very, very hard indeed.
Embry bowling round the wicket from the Randwick end to Wood. One pushed to Boycott. Just a slight easterly breeze, and that would assist any drift in the air that you would expect the off spinner to obtain. And he'll turn the ball away to the offside of the left-hander, and that's short up in the air, but it's over Randall's head at mid-wicket. They've taken 1 and they come back for 2. Darling just had to dodge the throw. Had the ground covered quite easily. Short and cracked away square of the wicket by Wood. Boycott's after it. It's scooting out towards the boundary, slowing up a little as it gets there, but Boycott can't reach it. So that's 4 to a lovely square cut from Wood. And that's swept away behind square leg. Lever running around from backward square leg does well to cut it off. And it's pulled away square of the wicket. It's in the air, but there's no chance of anybody catching it. 4 runs to Darling. He picked up the length of that extremely quickly. And that's short again, and it's hit both in the helmet, I would think. You could hear a very, very loud crack. What a terrible blow. He's taken the helmet off. It looked to me, it happened very, very quickly, but it looked to me that it struck Bertham either in the face or on the helmet.
I think
He's
it hit
down
the
on
helmet.
the ground.
I think it hit the helmet.
Very, very nasty blow, because Darling was back very quickly and pulled it hard.
Let's watch the ball. Travels very quickly, and there you see the ball bouncing back. Well, I don't think this is Botham's day, you know. He's suffering from flu, and now he's being hit on the head.
Hendrick to Darling. And that's put through mid-wicket. There'll be a couple here. Wood very quickly down the pitch. And Botham from mid-on. Fields, and Fields well. But can't prevent the 2 runs from being taken. And Darling is now 13. Oh, that's off the edge. He's caught. What a lovely catch by Graham Gooch at second slip. That ball only just carried. And Gooch did extremely well to dive forward and to his right to pick up that ball in 2 hands. A very, very smart catch. Darling out, caught Gooch, bowled Hendrick, 13.
The ball here from Hendrick just getting a little bit of lift. As you can see, Darling on the front foot. Perhaps he shouldn't have been. Done better to have played back. And that ball just carrying there to Gooch's right hand. He comes forward and under it. And that is the end of Darling. Again, look at that. Look how high Darling has to play this. And it's off an open-faced bat. And what a good catch there from Gooch. And you've got a very good view of that through some excellent camera work there.
So now it's Wood and Hughes at the crease together. Australia's first wicket fell at 38. Remembering 205 runs required for victory, so another 167 required by Australia, or alternatively 9 wickets for England. Hendrick to Hughes, very straight back Hughes. Miller will bowl round the wicket to the left-hander. Wood. Miller is bowling from the Randwick end.
Miller, if anything, slightly more accurate than Embry.
And it's a lofted shot over the covers off the outside edge because it didn't carry much weight behind it. Botham does the fielding. The batsmen take 2, but not frightfully convincing shot from Wood. 41 runs in the first hour of Australia's innings, and 13 overs have been bowled. Perhaps 12 overs have been bowled. This is the 13th. Miller over the wicket to Hughes. And Hughes immediately displays his intentions. Down the pitch. A fairly wild shot through the square leg area. 2 runs.
Well, isn't that extraordinary? Both of these batsmen have done exactly the same thing first ball that Miller has bowled to them.
It's a good shot by Wood. And sent back. There'll be a run out on. So Wood is run out. A suicidal run. Hughes must have sent him back. And Australia losing their second wicket. Wood run out for 27. Australia 2 for 44. What a bad wicket to fall.
Well, that was just straight disaster there. Wood's call. He hit it wide. Kim Hughes hadn't moved from the other end. I think there was probably a run in it too. And while he said no, it was far too late. Look at this one now. There's off for it. And Kim Hughes tucking back to his own crease. And in this stage, you've got to be mentally alert for everything. It's gone off the outside edge, picked the gap.
Full toss, and that's beautifully played by Yallop. Oh, brilliant bit of fielding there in the covers.
Edmonds,
extra cover. Edmonds, yes.
Athlete.
Beautifully fielded. Henrik bowling to Yallop. Just miscuing that one. He tried to hit it through the covers, but got the inside edge. thick edge.
Hendricks, in fact, has hit the edge to all the left-handers when they're trying to drive. That's unusual because he's been able to bring them back a little bit in towards the left-hander, even bowling from over the wicket. You're normally expecting to be edging towards slips all the time.
The slow hand clapping now from the rather impatient spectators who want to see Australia get on with it. It's very difficult against this sort of bowling.
And he's out, caught and bowled. Gallop out, caught and bowled by Henrik for 1. Australia in a bit of trouble now. 3 for 45. And Henrik 2 for 12.
Once again, this slower delivery well concealed, and while Graham Yallop looked at the crease, I think you'll find it's because he's held this one up a little slow, and Yallop's tried to turn it too soon. And look at the angle of the bat then. Looking at the pitch now, but I think he turned the bat a little too soon. Took the outside edge and straight back. We'll see this very clearly here. Off the outside edge, more than the ball doing anything unusual. Big responsibility on Peter Toohey now. Had a disappointing season to date.
Immediately off the mark. It was a good shot, good confident shot by Toohey. Opens his account, that single, and takes the total on to 3 for 49. And Miller to resume the attack. Heavy bowling to Hughes. And there's a Dobbs shot. No, it's wide of mid-on. I could have been out quarter mid-on, but it was wide, and it'll be 4.
That's the one he should be sweeping at. No risk there. Really, there's only the 2 short and the next closest man, so it's pitching outside the leg. And the next closest man who could probably catch is on the fence at deep square leg.
Well, there's the attempted sweep, and no contact.
And leaving that leg stump open. If you're going to watch this, look, there it is. You're going to sweep, make sure they're very firmly blocked out.
And he's out. Yes, he's caught. Hughes caught both them. Bowled Miller for 15. Australia 4 for 59. Miller 1 for 14.
Well bowled by Miller then. He bowled leg stump, leg stump, leg stump.
I guess that was Embury, wasn't it, in place?
Yes, Embury. And we'll see Hughes now gets ones on the off stump. And even though it's close, he's tried to guide it down the gully. Look at that. And it's spun back. He's only got half a bat to play it with. It's spun back, and the catch is gone.
Yes, that was Embury. Here it is, and on the onside there. And a clear view of that.
It's a good catch there. And that's Australia in all sorts of problems.
Miller to Border. And Border's cracked it over through mid-wicket, and that could be 4. Yes, in fact, hitting the fence on the first bounce. That's a good-looking shot from Border. He's 4, and it's 4 for 63. And pulled by Border out to the mid-wicket area. That is going slowly into the fence. Yes, that'll be 4. And a good shot, beautifully driven. That's a fine shot from Border, right through the covers for 4. So Border goes to 12. His scoring strokes have all been boundaries, and the total moving on to 74.
Well, you may notice this beautiful stroke. Notice the footwork again. You see, I mentioned about footwork, and this is what he's learnt, and so is Toohey getting the idea, and that's a glorious stroke.
Again, not quite timing it. That's Gooch this time at mid-on.
But at least, Norman, he is getting down the pitch, and he's making the ball his length rather than Miller before was dictating where he wanted when they were pushing from the crease.
And bowled. Tui's been bowled. There's a great breakthrough for England. It's now 5 for 74. Tui bowled by Miller for 5. Border not out 12. Australia in all sorts of trouble.
He seemed to hesitate over the stroke. He was going to do something, and what's this? He seemed to me to change his mind. Yes, and McLean, with that cat eye, who you may remember, has not put up a decent show against the off-spinners since he came into the side.
To Randall. And a chance, is it? He's out, yes. Well, another wicket has fallen, 6 wickets down, and McLean has been caught. Now, who was that who took the catch? It was Botham.
Well,
without scoring, and then Miller has 3 for 21. Let's see who that is.
It's the same old story, isn't it? The same old story with McLean pushing forward and no hope.
So look at that cluster of fieldsmen around there now. 5 men in catching positions as Dimmick is about to face his first ball from Embry. And the Australians perform a feat similar to that done by Mackay and Klein in Adelaide in 1961 to thwart the West Indies. And Dimmick has played it on. Inside edge, went back to play that through the offside, off the back foot, but it caught the inside edge of the bat and ricocheted onto the off stump. So there's another one down, 7 for 85, and Dimmick is out bowled by Embry without scoring.
Around the wicket, Embry, a ball that doesn't perhaps bounce as much as Dimmick expected. As you can see, it's about half stump high there, and the very thick inside edge drags the ball from a long way wide of the off stump onto the off stump. And again, another good view of the dismissal, and a great deal of turn.
Embry over the wicket to Hogg. That's in better position. He's out. That ball came straight off the inside edge of the bat, and it's gone to, is it Botham there at forward short leg? It's the man in the helmet. Very smart catch taken, and Australia loses its 8th wicket for 85. Rodney Hogg caught Botham, bowled Embry for no score.
A nice thick edge with the ball not travelling too quickly and going quite comfortably at catchable height to Botham. As you can see, Hogg too far outside the line of the ball.
And that short and cracked away through mid-wicket. It's 4 runs again, but it didn't quite achieve the result that Alan Border was looking for. Border on to 35, and that 4 brings up the Australian 100.
I hope Border can get to his half century. He's played well enough for it. He's now on 39. Higgs 3 and about to take the strike against the bowling of Embry, and it's with that over to Norman May.
And Higgs and field leg. Yes, he's out. Higgs leg before to Embry. He was bowling around the wicket, but Higgs went right back on his stumps. And Embry has 3 for 45. Higgs out for 3. Australia 9 for 105. And let's look at this one again as Bobby Simpson moves in.
Higgs going back and hitting fairly high, but certainly in front, hitting above the pads. And was he bent or not? Let's have another look.
This gives us a better view. He's round the wicket, remember. He's got to bring it right back.
Lovely free strike of the ball, Alan Border, when he drives. Absolutely perfect hitting, perfect action.
And the lofted drive, it's way up in the air. Underneath, there's a fieldsman out here, Lever, and he drops it. They've taken a single, he's dropped. And down the ground, I think it's gone too far. Yes, he scored 4 for it, but he'd be happier with a single. The Border for 45, and the total moving up to 111. That was the end of the over. Embry from this end. And bowled him. It's all over. England has won the game.
Well, it was a fantastic recovery. I don't think many sides would have recovered from a situation of being all out for 152 and the other side 126 for 1. Just come in a bit closer. Yeah. Right?
You must have been very pleased with the performance of the side, especially Derek Randall in the batting.
Oh, a marvellous performance.